very much, folks, and as I run against Bachman's twin, I want to acknowledge the person who's taking on Bachman head-on, Jim Gray. Between the two of us, we're going to get that dynasty out of there. All right, so before I really get going, I want to tell a quick story. We were up here door knocking just a couple of weeks ago, and I was just down the road at an apartment complex, and we were going through, knocking on some doors, and there were a few young people, somewhere between 6 and 8 years old, 3 of them, sitting in the hallway kind of playing. And as I got close to knocking on one door, one of the young people said, "You know what, don't knock on that door, mister. That's my house. My mom's sick and she's sleeping." And I said, "Okay, well, will you give this to her?" And handed him a piece of lint. But he looked at it and he said, "Who are you?" And I said, "Well, my name's Brian Barnes and I'm running for Congress." He looked at the piece of lint with both hands and then he looked up at me and he goes, "Are you going to get rid of PBS?" And it took me a second to realize what he was talking about, and it got even better because his buddy sitting next to him goes, "Yeah, who's that old guy who wants to get rid of Big Bird?" So our message is getting out there, folks. Our message is getting out there. I told them they had nothing to worry about with me in Congress. But in all seriousness, folks, you know, we look at what we have to do. And nobody has to tell you that the state legislature and Congress has been a mess under Republican rule. But we've got an opportunity to fight back into the light. We've got an opportunity to climb out of this mess, and we do it one door at a time. Now, I can't do it for you. I can give you a voice, I can fight for what's right, but at the end of the day, it's going to take all of you pulling together to make that happen. I look around, I see all these faces, it's great. I'm so happy you're all here. But I really think, you know, I'm just an average guy that got ticked off at what I saw going on, both in the state and at the federal level, and said, you know what, I can't look my daughter in the eye, let alone myself in the mirror, if I don't get off this couch and go fight. Now, I know I'm young, but as you get older, you start to think about the choices you've made in life, and that's life. But you only start to do so when you start to think there's an opportunity that you might have missed. And you realize that life is just a series of doors that you either knock and go through or you pass on by. We all know so's politics. And in both life and politics, the margin for error is so small, as Ken talked about, Senator Bach talked about. Just ask Al Franken. The margin for error is so small. You know, a few less doors knocked, and we lose some votes. A few less votes, and we lose an election. A few lost elections, all of a sudden we're back right where we started, with a lost legislature and a lost Congress. And it's time we all stand up and fight to make sure we get every vote. So this week, we go out, we knock every door. We go down every street, and we make the hard ask in every conversation, because the votes we need are everywhere around us. It just takes you to go out and make sure that happens. Now, I'll tell you, as a Navy guy, it's the person who puts their heart and soul into the mission at hand that's going to win the fight. And I know that if my daughter is going to have a better future with good education, good jobs, where she can make her own medical decisions and choose who she's going to marry, it's because I'm willing to fight to make sure we get that next vote that she needs. Because that's what it's all about, folks. It's that door right in front of your face. Now, I can't make you knock on it, but you're here and that's a great start. Because when you look around, I want you to take a second and look at the person next to you. Just look at the person next to you. All right? Now, I think you're going to see somebody who's going to knock that extra door and get that extra vote for you. I think you're going to see somebody who pushes themselves for the better of the next generation. And the reason they do it is because when they look back at you, they know you're going to do the same thing. And that's what makes us Democrats. It's who we are. We're a big tent party. We believe in the greater good. And as Paul Wellstone said, we all do better when we all do better. So who's ready to get out and get some votes, huh? Now, I want to say this one last thing. Remember, as we're going out and persuading, it's something Senator Bach touched on earlier. As we go out and we persuade, we don't disagree with them because they're Republicans. We don't. We disagree with them because they're wrong. And that's the end of the story. Thank you very much, folks.